Hey, what's up, guys? It's RJ with Roads to Liberty. It's like 1:30 in the morning right now. On I'm not gonna try to guess. I think it's Thursday the 8th. But any which way, I want to talk about something right now that I feel like just has to be said right now. Um, you guys are all gonna be waking up this morning. If you see this video, and it's gonna be sandwiched in between a lot of other videos on YouTube and on the internet about what happened in Dallas. And there's a few layers to this, right? So the top layer of this sandwich or cake or whatever you want to call it is cops got shot by some people, some person, some group, some individual, whatever the case may be, somebody in Dallas after a Black Lives Matter rally. So that's the top layer. And this is alleged, right? That's how things are until they go before a trial. Alleged. The next layer to this is the notion that the shooting was done by somebody affiliated with Black Lives Matter. That's an assumption I'm already seeing. So I saw this, I think it happened around 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday night. I'm sorry, Thursday night. So this will be Friday that you're seeing this video. I currently am unemployed or freelancing, looking for a job, and so I don't know the days too well. Any which way, sorry guys. So so it happened around 10 or 11 p.m. But already I was seeing people online basically saying that this is something that was carried out by the Black Lives Matter group. Now, certainly, that would be plausible to think based on the fact that it happened in a coincidental manner to this event, meaning at the same time. However, the way things work in civilized society is we don't assume guilt until we know, until we have a trial, and this is more and more increasingly not becoming not the case, as you may have noticed. Hillary Clinton didn't face a formal trial. Bill Cosby has not gone before trial, but he's been basically ruled a rapist and all this other stuff in the court of public opinion. So this is the new way that cultural and societal guilt and innocence is decided. I've noticed in a lot of terror attacks, the suspected shooter or suspected assailant is killed or commit suicide before they have a chance to face trial. So the first thing is, like I said, that this is going to be assumed to have been carried out by someone who's part of the Black Lives Matter movement. That's first. The second thing that I want to talk about is what I'm seeing across the board here in society recently is this tendency where groups are being pit against one another. And this is happening in a few main areas. So one very common way that we're seeing this is blacks versus whites, or more specifically, whites versus certain minorities. So it's weird. Like the Muslim minority is sort of being pitted against more the white culture, just as blacks are being pitted against whites. But there is some overlap and confusion. So I'm not saying that blacks and Muslims are necessarily banded together against whites. And I'll explain in a second why I'm saying it like this. There's also the male versus female division, and there's the heterosexual versus non-heterosexual division. And I don't want to make this video about delving into any one of those particular things, but I was just trying to kind of set the foundation a little bit. the way I put it just now, if you're listening, you say, why is he saying it like that? If you noticed, I'm talking about it as if it's an agenda, and it is. This is my belief, right? So that's why you're watching my video, to hear what I think. So I'm doing this video now because I'm concerned that the fallout tomorrow will be to stoke the flames of the black versus white conflict that's taking place right now. And I've done a video about called the Underground Media is Sick. And that video deals a little bit with some of the fighting that's taking place in the underground media between sort of the um, black rights, black equality um, sympathizers, and then the more alt-right, so to speak, who are sort of sticking up for white people. And I'm doing my best as a guy who's clearly white skinned, I guess, to not get sucked into this taking sides and to try to do what I feel like not enough people are doing, which is to stand in the middle and sort of be a mediator, the guy that's getting between a bunch of people punching and going, guys, 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 don't fight, stop, stop, why, like, calm down. I don't have all the answers, so I wish I did. I wish I could explain it to you guys in a neat and perfect way and just say, hey, here's why groups are being pitted against each other, or here's exactly all the details. But I will tell you my suspicion. I'm reading a book right now about the New World Order, and I didn't bring it. I meant to bring it outside with me into the car. I'm doing this video in the car because it's late and I don't want to wake up people in my house. But I don't even have the author's name memorized, and this is, I guess, irresponsible. But the information that I'm reading in this book is the book consists largely of quotations from other books. So, all the sources are listed, and it corroborates with a lot of other information that I've already found independently before reading this book. I actually found this book at a local flea market. So I was very interested to find it and to begin reading it. And it says what probably many of you have heard if you've studied some of these questions of secret societies and shadow governments and conspiracy theories, so to speak, around planned social events. And the Marxists, the cultural Marxists, the Illuminati, the New World Order, these secret societies have been planning to manipulate society for a long time. And they're when this is discussed, it's discussed that they have long-term goals. And so one of the things that they say they want to do is to destroy the family. They want the government, the state, to be in charge of children and raising children. Another thing they want to do is they want to destroy all national borders. And as a voluntarist or anarchist, so to speak, that almost sounds good. It's like, yeah, great, destroy all of the states. But when there's one government, that's sort of, I think, my interpretation of what they're going for is one world society. It is to basically do what every other tyrannical force has been trying to do all throughout history that we know of, is basically take over the world. It seems like, from my perspective and my understanding, that they're largely becoming more and more successful towards this end. And this is how they're doing it. So they pit man against woman. They pit the races against each other. They pit straights against non-straights, let's just say, heterosexuals versus all other sexual and gender identities, or call it, I guess they call it cisgen or whatever, like the normal, quote-unquote, traditional gender identity roles and alternative ways of expressing oneself through gender or sexuality, to pit these groups against each other so as to create what we see, like in Dallas today. We see just basically riots and society tearing itself apart. Um, so I wanted to do this video to kind of just start to crack the surface, crack the ice a little bit, break the ice, whatever the saying is. Um, and it's weird because I know I don't have a lot of, I know I don't have a very big audience. And I'm starting to become more upfront and open about this in the videos I make because it's like, who am I fooling, right? Like, what am I doing this for? Who? Part of it I'm doing it is because it's like I feel like it's what I can offer and it's what's right. Like it's all I have to offer is basically that I see these things happening and I don't like the idea of the world being torn apart like this. Like the people of this world being put against each other like this. Like it's not what I believe in for this to be the case, right? Um, the other thing that supposed New World Order or agenda there is trying to do is to destroy religion, and there's ample reason to believe that the people behind this are satanic, devil worshipping individuals, and there's enough on the internet to go into and explain this, but I might do something more on this down the road. There's just so many topics I want to discuss, and only so much time I have in my life right now to put towards making YouTube videos about these sort of things. However, um, you know, Christianity, for example, and I think there's probably corollaries in many other religions, but Christianity preaches loving your neighbor and kindness and turning the other cheek. And what I see from the world leaders and from the kind of agenda of manipulating society is to do the opposite, is to make us become our worst selves and to pit us against each other. And so I'm very conscious of this, and I'm trying my hardest not to get sucked into that trap myself. And that's really my real big plea here, and my appeal to you guys is, kind of maybe do some research into some of the things I said, if you feel compelled to. But think about what's happening in the world, and is this normal? Is it normal that there's so much hatred and so much division among us? I say it is not. I say it's unnaturally abnormal. There's always been some conflict. I grant that. There's always been some conflict between Group A and Group B. But there hasn't been all of this conflict all at once across all of the different cultures, all the different groups in society. It's too coincidental to me to be simultaneously happening like this outside of an agenda. So, like I said, I know this message is like a squeak. There's chances are not nearly enough people will hear what I have to say, and I'm not sure that anyone else is putting it as clearly, and not that I'm putting it very clearly. Like I wish I'm not. No matter what I do, and this is probably just human nature, I never feel like I'm saying things as clearly as I could or in the most effective way possible. But part of that is just doing more work, and I'm just doing this video, and I'm going to do another video, and I'm going to write something, and I'm going to just try to influence the world that any way I can with with the message of peace and the message of compassion and love, because that's what this really boils down to, is the way you control the world is to make the world out of control, or order out of chaos is one of the phrases that you hear associated with the Illuminati and the New World Order and all that stuff. um, I fear that, or I shouldn't say fear, because the fear is what they want us to have. I'm concerned, I should say. I'm concerned that their goal is to put us against each other, create massive disorder across the world, across all societies, all countries, all cultures, and then for them to justify their massive police state worldwide and massive one world government, one world currency, and basically the total reduction of freedom. I do videos trying to explain not esoteric, but like the intricacies of how a voluntary society could work, or how libertarianism could work in actuality. And then I'm faced with stuff like what's going on in Dallas, and I go, man, how far away are we as a society from what I envision and what I know other people envision in terms of having a truly free and voluntary society, when, of course, democracy and republics and kings and queens monarchies, of course, and dictatorships, of course, these systems failed. They're destined to, and they've always failed. But for them to fail as they're failing today so simultaneously and so catastrophically, to where I think largely, and this is unfortunate, so many of us are only just maybe slightly aware of the fact that something feels different this time, something feels weird. Guys, it got real for me just now, just saying that to you. And I could go on and on. Um, there's just so much going on that concerns me right now. And I guess what I'll end with is I implore anyone listening to this and watching this to consider how you feel about the state of the world today. And if you are feeling compelled, or if your social groups, or if anything about your life is sucking you into one camp or another, whether you're a feminist or a men's rights activist or Black Lives Matter or alt-right, white power, whatever, whether you're LGBTQ, I probably did missed a few, or you're, I don't know if there's a straight, yeah, there's like heterosexual pride day. If you're anybody that identifies in any of these niches, I'm with you all, in the sense that I get how you feel. You feel like who you are, your identity is being questioned and is being challenged and being threatened. And that's what we all have in common. That's what we can all put our arms around each other and say, I get you, I love you, it's okay. But if you feel like you need to stand up for who you are, and then the person who's not like you needs to listen and needs to understand you, man, trust me, I feel the force is sucking me into defending white people against very angry black people, and this is a minority of black people. Not I know a ton of black people that I hug on a daily basis, but I have, this sounds so typically white guy, like I'm a good hugger. I have black friends. No, like, this is true of every situation. There's the social justice warrior, um, transgender, gender fluid person who screams at white people who are straight and says, "You're privileged and you don't know, blah, 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 blah." You know, there's nothing you could do to make them happy. And there's also white people that hate people just because they're a different color of skin or because they're gay or whatever. And there's probably black people and Chinese people